Record now. Give like 3 seconds of silence, and then Nick, you can talk about Texas Chainsaw.
You said sexist.
Yeah,
chainsaw.
I was about to say sexist chainsaw.
I don't know how to talk.
It only kills men.
Yeah. This summer, the patriarchy is the only thing that's going to get cut down. Hey, my name is Surafel Casa,
I'm Dakota Snow.
I'm Nick Venezia.
and this is the BMPodcast. In this episode, we're going to be talking about a few things. Primarily, we're going to be talking about just a bunch of all the trailers that have been coming out recently. And on top of that, we're also going to be talking about
guilty pleasure movies and trailers. That's what we're talking about.
Yeah, all right. Is there any order in which you guys want to talk about those things?
We should probably start with the trailers since they're like fresh on our minds.
Yeah.
Because we just watched them on the
Yeah.
PS4.
Literally.
All right, so what are you guys? What trailers are you guys most excited to have seen? Like, what trailers that got you guys the most hype?
For me, it would probably be that. What was it? The Skyscraper movie with Dwayne Johnson, Dwayne The Rock Johnson.
No, Sans The Rock. Now it's just Dwayne Johnson.
He's removing that title.
Yeah. It's
Now-
gone now.
Now he's the Scissors Johnson.
Dwayne the Paper Johnson.
Because he's floating through the air.
Oh yeah.
But for real. How does he do that?
I want to divide Dwayne Johnson's career into The Rock,
The Paper, and the Scissors.
The Holy Trinity.
Okay, so that was a weird. It's like one of those trailers that no one was really talking about. Like I didn't really. We literally saw it just because we were watching Deadpool, I think. And no, it was Mission Impossible.
Yeah.
And then that was just like next in the queue for YouTube, and no one did anything. It's played automatically. And I didn't really hear anything about it at all, but it looks like it could be a pretty fun movie.
I mean, you would have heard about it if you watched the Super Bowl.
Yeah, okay. I wasn't watching the Super Bowl. I was watching Blade Runner 2049 with my friends. Or actually, they were watching it, and I fell asleep on the couch.
Oh, then never mind. You missed Blade Runner. Okay, you know what?
Yeah. I know the thing is I'm a sleepy boy, and we turn the lights off, and no light means bed by for Surafel, so I just didn't. Yeah, it means beddy by for me, so I just didn't do anything. But yeah, I saw that trailer and we just watched it, and I don't know, I think it could be kind of cool.
Sorry.
No, you're fine. I think that it's gonna be a departure from. I mean, it's kind of a silly movie, but it's not as lighthearted, I guess, as Dwayne Johnson's most of his other movies, like Jumanji or like his other Kevin Hart collaborations or whatever.
Yeah.
It just seems like it's gonna be like a bit of a departure from his lighthearted stuff. So I'm kind of like interested to see like this new direction that he's taking with his career. I'm kind of like hyped to see what it's gonna be like.
I mean, I feel like even if it is like other Dwayne Johnson movies, it could still be entertaining in its own right.
Even his bad movies, like the one Central Intelligence, that was a bad movie. It was fun.
Oh, come on.
I thought it was a bad movie, but it was fun.
I had fun with that movie.
Yeah, me too.
What was that movie that he was in where he was like a football player or something? And he had, what was that? The playbook? The game plan. For some reason, this trailer reminded me of like a grittier
Remember when
like
he was the Tooth
version.
Fairy?
Oh, was it the Tooth Fairy? What was the one with the girl from Corey in the House? Was that the football one or the?
I think that's the game plan.
That was the game plan.
Yeah.
Oh god, that was a. I got cinnamon.
What?
He eats a cookie that she makes. He's like allergic to cinnamon. He's like,
allergies.
I can't eat cinnamon. I'm allergic to cinnamon. His voice gets higher. Maybe that's just me. And then she's the little America sweetheart. He's like, oops, I didn't know him again. This is really. It was like an entire ridiculous thing. That's exactly how she sounded like, by the way. That's exactly how she talked.
Maybe not all bad Dwayne Johnson movies should get a pass, though.
I mean, yeah. Even all of his worst movies still have him, and he has such like an undeniable charisma.
He does.
That like it's always fun to see him on screen. So even if this movie like isn't very great, I'm sure that I'll have fun watching it. Probably not in theaters. I'll probably rent it, but unless I hear it's like really fun or like something I should see in theaters, and if I have some extra cash over the summer, maybe I'll see it. But yeah, that's what we thought about that.
What was your favorite?
Actually, I'm interested in what yours is with Dakota. What was your favorite?
Yeah, that's how we got into Skyscraper. I said it was Skyscraper.
Was it yours? Oh, yeah. What was yours, Nick?
Mine, probably Mission Impossible, honestly, because they've had a pretty steady stream of quality, like I was saying. I'm anxious to see what exactly Tom Cruise is going to hang off of this time. what exactly he's going to hang off the side of.
In the trailer, he was like hanging off of like a rope from a helicopter, which was it carrying like a boulder or something? Like what was under it? Because he
the
fell
thing
off
is,
right
he does
afterwards.
he does his own stunts. Like
Yeah,
it's not, he doesn't use he tries to avoid using CGI, so I can really respect that.
I mean, I know that in one movie he was hanging off the side of a plane, and this one he was like hanging off the side of a boulder. I'm always hanging off the edge of my seat because like these movies are like done so well. Like it's crazy. Like even the earlier ones, you would think that after a period of time, like, oh, we're just gonna get fatigued watching all of these. They're because to be honest, they're not really very different. Like it's all just kind of like the same movie, but they're all the same great movie. They're all like so fun. Like they're these like popcorn films that like aren't super like, you know, intellectually challenging or anything like that, but they're really, really fun
And funny
like,
sometimes.
Yeah, Tom Cruise is always great, and like the stunts are always super great, and they're never stupid, you know. They're never like dumb movies that I feel dumb watching. They're really fun, and they're just like they're so well made, and the cinematography is always top notch. So I'm really, really hyped to see this movie.
That's all you can really ask for in an action. Well, you can ask for more in an action movie, but still.
Yeah.
But
that's the well.
If you're looking for something to like spend your money on, and there's like not been like a big string of like great action movies that have come out recently, it's like, this is pretty reliable.
Yeah, it's like you know, it's perennial. It's every like couple of years is going to be like one really good action movie from Tom Cruise. Usually it's Mission Impossible, and they're always great. So that is something that I'm actually super looking forward to. But what was the next trailer? Another one that we saw. We saw the Solo one, the Jason Derulo biopic.
Yeah.
I was kind of disappointed by that one. What about y'all?
I don't know. It seemed like it was shot differently from all the other ones for some reason. A lot of the shots seemed like vintage almost. There were like close-ups of like some people, and I was just thinking, this doesn't seem like this is from a Star Wars movie. It feels like it's from, I don't know what I'm thinking. But it just doesn't seem like it's a Star Wars.
I got that vibe from when I was watching Rogue One. I remember very much thinking that was like not a Star Wars movie because it was just so like, you know, just dark and bleak and stuff.
I think what ruined it for me is like this Jack Nicholson looking guy. Just like, is this pre Overlook for like Jack Torrance or something?
Yeah,
he's like gonna give somebody like a menacing grin, like
with the eyebrows.
Yeah, exactly, with like the eyebrows and like the low face, like it's shrouded in darkness. Just like, I
was disappointed by the. I see what you're saying about like how it does look. It doesn't feel like the other like Star Wars movie that have come out recently, with the exception of Rogue One, where it kind of has that nostalgic feel to it. It does very much feel like, I mean, when it shouldn't, because this is like a prequel, so it's kind of its own creature. So I think that it's a smart decision to like not make it feel like
also
the rest
it wasn't
of the stuff.
very colorful. I mean,
yeah, it was kind of bleak. I'm not super knowledgeable about Star Wars, but from what I know about Han Solo's character, I think that's a smart choice to like to just kind of have things, because he's not a very like, you know, he's not Finn. He's not like the shucks, look at me. He's a kind of a more serious character from what I understand. Granted, this is like a prequel, so I'm not sure.
Entirely, because I feel like there were a lot of comic relief moments with him, like in the original series, like when he runs into like a room full of like stormtroopers, and then he's just like, back, let's all go back, run the other way.
Yeah, when I think Harrison Ford, I think comedy.
I mean,
but I didn't see.
Indiana
I can't
Jones
really,
also had some pretty funny moments.
I'm so ignorant about Harrison Ford's career. Like, it's crazy. The biggest movie he's been in for me was 42. Like, yeah, I'm not joking. That's real. Like,
so wait, have you never seen Indiana Jones then?
No, I have not seen Indiana Jones.
Definitely important to add to your.
But yeah, I was disappointed by this show just because, like, I as a person who's like not super into Star Wars, I was really, really mostly looking forward to this because my boy Donald Glover's in this, who I'm a huge fan of from literally everything he's done. I like his music stuff, his TV stuff, his movie stuff.
From Spider-Man, and I was like thoroughly disappointed when he was in like 2 scenes.
Oh yeah, I wasn't. You know, that's That's not surprising to me.
That was kind
of. I'm excited to see like if he's gonna have any involvement in the MCU beyond that.
I hope so.
Speaking of the
Seems
MCU,
hilarious.
actually, that seems like a pretty good segue to the Ant-Man, and actually there are 2 MCU trailers,
Yeah.
3 Marvel trailers that we saw today. So we want to talk about the Ant-Man one first? Ant-Man
Yeah,
and
sure.
Wasp?
Let's go with the
Yeah.
easy.
So I don't know about y'all, but I liked the first Ant-Man movie like quite a bit.
Yeah, I did.
I super like the heist vibe of it. I like the very comic nature of it. I
don't
felt
doubt that
the
this will
Edgar
be-
Wright fingerprints in the script a little bit. Like
Yeah.
it didn't feel very much like an Edgar Wright movie because it wasn't made by Edgar Wright, but I felt his DNA in
I
it.
felt it in like the earlier parts of the film.
Yeah, for sure. The way that the script, you could tell that there were certain cuts that were written into the script that I'm like,
Yeah.
oh yeah, that felt like an Edgar Wright type of thing. So I like that one quite a bit. I thought Paul Rudd is great. You know, who doesn't like Paul
Yeah.
Rudd? I'm almost annoyed by how likable he is. Like, that's how likable he is. In the Captain America, in Civil War, we see what happens with him, and he sort of gets locked up with a bunch of other people. And I thought, okay, well, they're kind of doing him dirty because
Iron
he
Man even
was.
says, "Who are you?"
Yeah, right. I know they did. They did him dirty, and I felt kind of bad because I liked him so much, but he just was just such a tiny thing, and it was not intentional. But that was not intentional.
Well, as you
I
saw
just
from
now
the
got
as you saw from this trailer, he has a much bigger role, as in he becomes the
Oh.
giant.
But I like this trailer a lot just to see you see okay, yeah, he was kind of screwed over a little bit, and he got arrested and all that. But you see okay, how his life is evolving from that. That's what one thing I like about the Marvel movies is they don't just kind of they really have an overarching storyline that they really follow through. Ant-Man is this character. Oh, people are probably gonna forget about. But no, they make sure oh yeah, how he tied into things, and I really appreciate how they did that. And I'm kind of excited to see how I forget her name, the actress.
Evangeline Lilly.
Thank you, Evangeline. I'm excited to see how her character is
Yeah,
put
I
in
was
this.
thinking. I feel like she should have had a bigger role in the first one.
Much bigger role,
but-
and she did this thing her role
She
was
had a
kind
pretty
of
big role in the first one though, but still.
I thought it could be bigger.
Yeah,
I
it
thought
could
that
be
she'd get the
bigger.
suit at one point.
And now she's gonna have that chance. To,
she was like Terrence Howard in the first Iron Man film. You know?
Except she didn't get replaced.
Well, yeah, except she. Well, yeah, luckily. But she was this kind of thing where you see a lot of movies where it's oh, there's this guy who's kind of new to this world, and for whatever he's the chosen one. He's the one that has to step up. And there's a woman who is similar.
Experience.
You what?
An already experienced in what what he's supposed to be.
But for whatever reason, she's not the one that takes on the role.
Yeah.
It's the guy, and you see this everywhere. Lego Movie, Kung Fu Panda, Harry Potter, The Matrix. I could name so many examples, and the first one was another example of that, where this experienced, brilliant woman who's qualified but she's a woman, so she can't be the main character. I'm kind of excited to see in the second movie how she's going to be incorporated, see her be kind of a badass and stuff. And I'm kind of hyped to see what she's going to do, especially because she has more powers than Ant-Man apparently. And so I just thought the first one was so great with the way the fighting, such a unique style of fighting with the shrinking and getting bigger and all that.
Final battle.
I want to see more of that. Yeah.
In a train set.
Yeah, it was.
That was
That
so
one joke of oh my god,
so
this
great.
huge train's coming at us,
And just
and then
just the toy
falling over.
on him.
I love that. It was great. So yeah, that was Ant-Man and the Wasp. And what do you want to, Dakota? What do you want to do next?
What do you
What between Deadpool and the is it a Avengers movie?
Yeah.
I think
It's not like a Captain America. They're
No, it's Avengers Infinity War.
Yeah. So what do you?
I guess Deadpool, because that's the only Marvel's one of the few Marvel's movies that I've seen the movie beforehand, because I'm not experienced with any of this. So
Well, I mean, you say the movies beforehand, but with Avengers, there are 20 movies before.
I mean, fair, but still, it's just I don't know where I was going with that. Whoever's
She's so
editing, cut
bored.
that out.
I'm not sure how much we're gonna edit out, but maybe a lot, maybe none at all. Who knows? But I super like this trailer. It's everything you want from a Deadpool trailer.
Yeah,
Very
exactly.
funny, super shattering the fourth wall.
Action packed and everything. It shows all these characters and
I remember it's weird because I remember thinking, okay, with this movie they can't in a Deadpool movie you can't really have a menacing antagonist, because the entire time Deadpool is just kind of like throwing shade and like sort of not really taking it seriously. And if the main character isn't taking it seriously, how can you take it seriously? Despite the fact that the entire time, Deadpool's acknowledging this is a movie, oh, that arm is CGI, whatever. I was still kind of like, I found Cable to be pretty menacing, like, not gonna lie.
I don't think he's the villain, honestly.
You don't think so?
I don't, and the only reason I think this is because I used to play like these Marvel Ultimate Alliances games.
Oh yeah. Me too. I played him
I'm
once.
pretty sure he was a good guy in that.
I'm not familiar with Cable's. I mean, like, I am vaguely familiar with Cable as a character. I'm not even sure.
All I remember is he teams up with Deadpool a few times.
Okay.
So I don't think he's the bad guy. I think they still have yet to show the bad guy. He might be the bad guy.
I don't. Yeah, I'm not very. I know about Cable literally everything that is shown in the trailer. That's all I knew about him before seeing the trailer. So I assumed he was the antagonist. But
speaking of Josh Brolin, should we move on to the next trailer?
Yeah. By the way, kind of seems dirty that Josh Brolin is double dipping in the Marvel pots.
Oh yeah,
like that's a bit weird.
He's making that moolah.
That's
anyway,
a bit weird for me, but like cool. Also, the return of Lupinder. Yeah, the cab driver.
Yes.
I'm so excited. Which, I mean, I say I'm excited.
I hope they don't overdo that. That's all I'm saying.
He's a sociopath.
Oh yeah.
Like, we find out he's a sociopath.
He kidnapped the man.
It was it's funny because it's a movie, but like, no, he's insane. Like, where I'm like, oh, I'm excited to see the funny cab driver.
I mean, but he's like the
homicidal maniac cab driver.
He's like a very timid sociopath.
Yeah. He's like a very polite sociopath. Like, I'll open the door for you before I slaughter you. The Avengers trailer. Yeah, I've been waiting for the Purple Man to not Kilgrave. I've been waiting for a different Purple Man.
Wait, what?
You don't know the from Jessica Jones? Doesn't
matter.
Oh,
Joe,
his nickname the Purple Man. Yeah.
How many Purple Men can there be?
2 apparently.
Question answered.
In this ecosystem, if there's more than if there's 3 Purple Men, everyone's screwed
dead.
over. Like,
yeah,
everyone below the food chain is just dead. Everyone's just gone.
It throws the entire ecosystem.
Wasn't the bad guy Guardians of the Galaxy a purple guy? Or no, wait, he was blue. Never mind.
Yeah, there was a purple stone. I'm not sure which one.
That's
I'm not
too
sure
much
which
purple
Infinity
for Marvel then.
Yep, I know. But so yeah, I've been waiting for an appearance from Josh Brolin ever since seeing the end of the first Avengers movie, and we had a tiny glimpse of him in the first Guardians movie, I believe it was. But I've been wanting a movie actually featuring him, and I'm so glad to finally actually get to see him
and get to
in
see
a
him
movie.
Get punched by. Well, actually, no. To
he
see him
does
punch somebody, yeah.
Yeah.
He
is the one who punches.
He decks Iron Man.
Yeah, and I'm actually super duper hyped to see this for a number of reasons. I mean, it's the same reason why I wanted to see Avengers and why I wanted to see Captain America: Civil War and all the other movies. It looks like it's gonna be a huge WWE super brawl. But featuring an entire nation of like Wakandan fighters or whatever.
Wakandan.
Yeah.
I like the way you said that too, like Wakandan.
Wakandan?
No, you
Wakandam.
You said it like the guy. You said it like the guy from the Twilight Zone, like the nation of Wakanda.
I don't think the Twilight Zone talked about Wakanda. But
no, okay.
Should I say it like Andy Serkis? Wakanda. You've been to Wakanda, or however he says it. I forget. I can't really do it. Whatever accent.
You ever heard of what do you know about the nation of Wakanda?
Wakanda. We're done. But so yeah, I'm just really excited to see Black Panther and Captain America and the Winter Soldier all with Natasha Romanoff all fighting, and then on the other hand, there's going to be
stupid names.
Natasha Romanoff.
Well, yes, kind of, but
it's not stupid. It's just Russian. But
just Winter Soldier, Captain America.
Yeah, I mean, they're really old characters. Like, what do you want? But yeah, and then on the other, like, just this huge fight that it's gonna be. It's gonna be so great to watch.
With those 4-armed aliens, just what are
they? Look kind of like Predator, by the way.
Yeah, exactly. What are they?
Like, maybe that's just me, but I really thought that.
With all these like this generic en masse production of these like monsters that these villains just have access to. It's just crazy.
Yeah, I mean, it's Here's the thing. It's like for the James Spader movie. Which one was that?
Okay, that one kind of made sense because he was like mass producing the robots, so like we got to actually see. It was Age of Ultron.
Yeah, Age of Ultron.
We got to see how he was producing, but to be fair, the movie around it was absolute garbage.
I don't know, garbage, but it was not great. I didn't think it was garbage, but it was. I don't think I'll ever see it again because I don't really need to. Yeah, that was actually a low point in the Marvel Cinematic Universe for me. But this, I think it's invigorating for me. Like it seems like it's gonna be like a lot of really, really interesting. Also, a return of the Hulkbuster suit. That's like if you are a Marvel fanboy, that your synapses in your brain were firing. Like there was
maybe it'll actually be in a good Marvel movie this time.
Yeah, I mean, it's just I've had a lot of Marvel fatigue recently. Like there's been movie after movie. It's like 2 or 3 movies a year.
I don't know. I've loved like the last 3, like Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 2, Spider-Man, and Thor Ragnarok.
I was gonna say I didn't see Ragnarok, but I was gonna say like I've had a fatigue in the past like year and a half or 2 years, but it's starting to like have its upswing. That's after seeing the Spider-Man Homecoming and then seeing Guardians right after that and hearing that Ragnarok is good, and I'm hearing that Black Panther is supposed to be really good, which trailer podcast I was apprehensive about Black Panther because I remember seeing the trailer and being like, oh, it's like a really well shot trailer, really well cut trailer. I don't know anything about the movie though.
The thing is with critic reviews, I don't always trust them because I didn't really like what was it, Doctor Strange or Wonder Woman that much.
You didn't?
No.
I like Doctor Strange actually. I remember like thinking the special effects were really, really cool.
I like them, but I didn't think they were that great.
Wonder Woman is another thing where it's like, I get why it's popular, and I think it's a good thing, but as a movie, it was like, it's okay. It wasn't bad. No,
I really liked it up until like the final act where they're just like, oh, I guess you can actually stop the war by killing this guy.
Yeah. I mean, like, I think there's like some kind of California law that says that all superhero movies have to have third act problems. Like, there's some kind of decree somewhere because I don't know. It's always just
happens. Like, oh, Ares God of War wasn't a real person after all. Oh wait, no, he was. Yeah, he was, and he was this British guy.
But yeah, so like I don't know. This trailer has just it's kind of released the fatigue for me, so I'm excited for it, for a number. But yeah, so now we're going to
let's move on to my
Grail.
Favorite.
The holy.
Yeah, so Venom. That was the trailer, especially at the
can I
end.
just
Got
ask
kind
a
of slimy
question?
at the end.
Where is Venom in the Venom trailer?
Well, technically, you see both paths of Venom in the trailer. It's like, oh, I got you peanut butter jelly sandwich. You got me the bread, the peanut butter, and the jelly. And it's like, you can just put the rest together in your head, right? And I'm like, nah, man, give me my freaking sandwich. Like, what is this? This is stupid.
Give me my sandwich.
Yeah. I don't know why you made it sound so creepy, Dakota.
I make everything sound creepy, so that's just normal for me.
Yeah, my dog's scared of you, so you know.
Why are you afraid he's gonna creep out your dog?
No, my dog is actually Koshi. Like, she's an energetic little thing, and I saw her scared at someone besides me for the first time ever today. Like, she doesn't get scared by anyone except for me whenever she pees in the house or big dogs.
I'd love to see you get angry.
So
I feel like I've never actually seen that.
Anyways, trailers.
This just got dark.
Yeah. This was a bad trailer, Venom.
Yep.
I can't even say I'm looking forward to the movie, honestly. It's Tom Hardy, and Tom Hardy's such a great actor. Who doesn't love Tom Hardy?
I mean, I wasn't looking forward to the movie before I saw the trailer. After the trailer, I've just lost all hope, man.
Well, like when I found out that it wasn't an MCU movie, I was like, all right, like, are they gonna bring back Garfield? Are they gonna make another Spider? Are we going to have two Spider-Mans at the same time? But no, I think they're just about to like do some movie with Venom without Spider-Man, which I don't understand how that's possible. But like,
apparently they're also making 2 other movies with characters connected to Spider-Man.
What do you mean?
And without Spider-Man, they're making one with I forget who the second one is, but the first one they're making is like Black Cat movie.
Really?
So
I didn't know about that.
I don't know about the other character.
Okay, that's kind of awesome, actually. That'd be
Silver
cool.
or something. It was like a movie like Black
Surfer.
and Silver. No, not Silver
Okay.
Surfer. I think
Silver
I'm
Surfer
pretty sure
mission.
Disney gets that in like the in like the trade,
and like the divorce of like
the big.
It feels like a divorce, doesn't it? Like, okay, you get this and I'll get this and we get this.
It kind of does. Only there are horrible effects on like the media industry as a whole.
The way that it can have horrible effects on someone's childhood.
Yeah,
like,
sure.
It's like watching mom and dad fight. Honestly, is like the 70s
Except now
Marvel.
we get X-Men and Avengers at the same time.
Well, I mean, that's always been pretty good, honestly.
And they get to neuter the Deadpool.
Say neuter, damn.
No, I mean the movie, but
Oh.
yeah, that'd be an interesting scene. Just
Right?
like, it's like getting to see like Wolverine neuter Deadpool.
I don't like that at all. I hated that. I'll just say this. That trailer didn't. It's this recent trend
It
of
didn't
like
sparkle with you?
trailers where like people say, "Oh, I hate when the trailer tells you the entire movie." What annoys me more is when trailers don't tell me anything about the movie.
Yeah, exactly. People were defending this trailer online. Like,
Yeah.
you know what? People are always complaining nowadays about how trailers always show us too much. This one didn't show us anything. That's not the you know.
That's not the point.
Yeah, exactly. That's not the solution to showing us too much. Because then we don't even know what your movie's about. It's
Yeah.
just a guy running. He's just running.
Honestly, like I just, it's
And
I
things
was saying this
explode
earlier, but
around
It's the same reason why I was apprehensive about the Black Panther movie is because like I couldn't tell anything. Like I was like, Michael B. Jordan is gonna burn something down. He's gonna burn it all.
He's gonna burn it all.
Yeah, and then apparently like Chadwick Boseman never freezes, and that's all I know is that he never freezes. And I said it's fire and ice. Okay, he never freezes, and then he burns
Okay,
everything
but at
down.
least you get
that's
like
all I know.
an idea of like their personalities, like who they are, like you know.
Well, yeah,
he's
true,
like
true,
this
true.
Guy who wants to like go to like Michael B. Jordan's this guy who wants to go to Wakanda and like take it over or something. I don't know.
Yeah.
Anyway,
You have, like, a
but,
vague
okay, maybe
sense
not
of,
an
like-
understanding of who he is, but
But you have like a
vague
sense,
understanding. And Chadwick Boseman, you get like this charismatic, like you know,
King
this
who's like-
king who's
yeah,
like
who never freezes.
this role has been like thrust upon him,
Yeah,
and
but with the Venom trailer,
you don't even get an idea of anything
at all. Like, what were your impressions watching the trailer, Dakota?
I
Were you not paying attention?
not really. I
can't
and by the
blame
looks
you,
of it,
though.
I didn't miss much.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah,
I
no,
couldn't
really.
blame you. By the way, does Venom have telekinesis or something?
Right in that one little shot.
No, in two shots. Like there's
two?
this one where like he just drives like a motorcycle through like two cars and like they just fly up in the air.
I like to think that he's like upgrade from Ben 10.
Yes.
I don't know what inspired me to make that reference.
That's
but
the like green guy who looks like a blob but is like right.
Yeah. And
that
then
guy.
he like just controls technology.
Yeah.
Man, I actually learned so much about Ben 10 because I have a coworker who is thoroughly knowledgeable about the Ben 10 lore. Like, he could talk all about like how one episode of Ben 10 is an unintentional allegory about police brutality and racism. Like,
What?
he could know.
The
I'm
hell?
not Jackson Palmer. If you're ever listening to this, like, congrats to you because you've amazed me. But I want to see that.
It's so amazing.
I want to see that really bad. Yo, we have this an entire different thing we have to get going.
That should be the next topic. Okay.
Yeah. So wait, there was one last trailer. It was the Cloverfield Paradox.
Yes, the fantastic piece of marketing leading to a less than stellar movie-going experience.
This is a weird trend. Like, I'm telling you, like, it's all these great trailers that are like really well cut or like they leave just enough to like have you really in suspense that lead to just absolute like doo-doo movies. Like, they're not good, and I was so disappointed because I was really hyped to see the Cloverfield movie. I really thought it was gonna be good. I was very excited to see it, but apparently it was garbage.
There's a sentient arm in it. That's all
Oh,
I can
was it?
say.
So it was on some Rick and Morty type. Like, it really wasn't like.
There's no explanation. It's supposed to be like based in science, but for some reason there's just a sentient arm that gives them plot information.
Like it talks.
I wish.
Does it do like the
I feel like
puppet
they
hand?
just go
Like,
like.
It's like a narrator.
I feel like they just go like all the way with it. They should have done that. Just like make it as stupid as possible.
honestly,
What are all those hand symbols mean?
Hetty is like acting like what a hand would communicate like if it were.
Oh, okay. I was like thinking, is she telling us to
No,
wrap
she gave
it
me
up?
the finger, and then I was like,
Well, that's rude.
"No, you finger." I was like,
how would a sensei arm communicate with you?
"Yes." When you're sitting here like not talking, and like when you communicate with hand gestures, I was like,
basically,
"What do you want to do? I don't even know."
But like, listen to this. Basically, how it communicates with them, it doesn't have a body attached to it. It doesn't have like a brain attached to it. It doesn't have eyes.
Mm-hmm.
They give it a pen, and it writes things down. How? How does that work?
How big
That's
is the arm?
dumb.
How big is the arm?
It's one of the.
It's like a normal
It's
arm.
a normal arm. It's one of the crew members' arms, and like it's long story short, it's like extra dimensional travel. He gets his arm cut off, and like in the alternate
Yo, actually, you know
universe.
what this reminds me of?
What?
Remember that movie that came out with Ryan Reynolds and Jake Gyllenhaal like last year? It was like in space and
Oh, Life. Yeah, exactly.
Life,
That's
yeah.
what I was comparing it to the entire time I was watching it. I was just like, you know
I
what?
got those vibes.
I didn't even like Life, but I feel like Life is like
the movie, right?
I didn't like. Yeah.
Life just sucks in general.
Yeah.
Just,
No, but
Who thought of life? Just fire.
I was
them.
like thinking I didn't like the movie Life
Fire
while I was
God.
watching it, but then while I was watching Cloverfield. While I was watching Cloverfield Paradox, I was like, somehow Life is like a manual on how to fix this movie.
Really?
Yeah, like I was like thinking, okay, well, Life never takes like the focus off of like the main characters. It never like cuts to like back on Earth to like show us what's going on down there, because that's so important. Keeps cutting like the main character's husband.
Ironically, when I was seeing Life, you know what I thought it was gonna be? I thought it was like a weird black substance.
Venom.
I thought it was gonna be Venom.
Yeah, there were like a bunch of theories about
Yeah,
that.
I saw a theory where
'Cause
I
it
was
was
like,
a
oh, I
Sony
bet this is
movie.
gonna be like a Marvel movie in secret, and then I was like, no. And honestly, calling it, it's a secret sequel to Life. I think I'm gonna call it right now. It's a secret sequel to secret. Sequel,
I swear to
that's what
God,
I say.
if that actually is true,
I'll be kind of ticked if I'm right, because secret sequels are no fun.
wasn't it
Secret
like
sequels
a-
hurt someone. That's an Office reference for anyone that's picking up on that.
shut up. Anyway.
For the stripper nurse.
Okay.
Yes. Okay. So I guess we watched all the trailers. We talked about all the trailers that we wanted to talk about, right?
Yeah. So,
into our other segment, not a segment so much as a topic.
yeah.
Guilty movies, guilty pleasure movies.
Guilty movies.
So why don't
Guilty
we-
movies.
They've been tried in
Yeah.
court.
Yeah.
They've been sentenced to life.
Guilty
the
movies,
death
and I don't want
penalty.
anybody to see me watching these. What?
Say it
What?
again. Say it
Wait.
again.
Oh, come on.
I'm
Oh
not
my
sure I heard
God.
you right. Would you say? I'm not
Shut
sure.
up, sir.
No, I'm not joking. I think I heard you wrong. What did you say? Like, just I think I heard you wrong. Honestly.
I feel guilty for watching these movies, but you.
Okay.
You know
yeah,
what?
Okay, yeah. I just know I heard you wrong. That's all.
Oh yeah.
What'd you think he said?
I don't want to say, 'cause this is a PG-13 podcast, so I don't want. And I vastly misheard you, so I don't even know why. But anyways,
you did.
yeah, guilty. I mean, like, we all know what these are. These are all, movies that, while we enjoy them and think they're really fun to watch, or we have some kind of sentimental attachment to them, or they're just like, relieving or whatever, we know they're not the best movies, but we can't help but enjoy them.
Okay, so Surafel, what's your guilty pleasure movies?
I got a few, honestly. This past summer, Hetty, who I live with, she went to Paris, France for 6 weeks, and it was kind of a bummer because, I kind of like her. And I got kind of bored.
Ooh, tell us about that.
Yeah, well, we've been dating since for 2.5 years.
Do you have a
and
crush on her? Do you like her?
Don't tell anyone, but I kind of like her. But yeah, and I was just like kind of like, if I'm being honest, I was just kind of bored and like lonely, honestly, and I just like, after drinking by myself got boring. I'm kidding. Mostly. No, I'm kidding. I would watch like a bunch of just movies on Netflix and on HBO and on Hulu, all these streaming services that we have that I wouldn't usually watch because I had nothing better to do and no one to talk to. And there were a bunch of like, this is way more depressing than I meant it to sound, but I watched like a bunch of movies that I usually wouldn't, like Central Intelligence, like I was mentioned earlier. That was not a very good movie. It was really fun to watch though. But I guess it's not really a guilty pleasure because it's like, I feel like a guilty pleasure. It's something you have to like revisit and like watch all the time.
I don't think you do.
You don't think so?
No, I feel like the way you're describing Central Intelligence makes it sound like a guilty pleasure. Honestly,
Yeah,
I've
no,
only
I
seen-
guess. Yeah, because honestly, it was like such a stupid movie. It was so dumb, but I thoroughly, earnestly enjoyed it. It wasn't like ironic like The Room, where it was like it's so bad it's good.
I mean,
it was bad and good simultaneously.
I mean, you think that's a bad comedy movie to like, but I like That's My Boy, starring Adam Sandler. So,
dude.
yeah, I know. I feel bad, but
Yeah, it's a
That's my
damn.
boy.
yeah, it's bad.
Wait, what's That's My Boy? I don't remember.
It's Andy Samberg and Adam Sandler.
And Andy
say that
and
say that
Andy
3 times.
Sandler.
Say that 3 times fast.
Adam.
Andy Samberg, Adam Sandler, Andy Samberg, Adam Sandler, Andy Samberg, Adam Sandler, Andy Samberg,
Sandler.
Adam Sandler. I would drop the mic, but it's actually
And
really bad for audio, so I'm not
Amber
going to do that.
Slamberg.
Come on and slam, and welcome to the Ant. Come on and slam, and welcome to the Sandberg. But
Sandy Sandals.
yeah, yo, come on.
Andy Andlerberg. It's just so stupid. But I'm sorry. It's such a stupidly funny, inappropriate movie that's got Vanilla Ice in it.
I forgot that. It has Vanilla Ice.
and like and you just gotta, it's just so messed up and stupid and very over the top.
Yeah. I mean, I remember, like, I have not liked Adam Sandler in a comedy. The last comedy that he was in that I actually enjoyed was Funny People, the Judd Apatow movie. I only liked it. It was like
where he has cancer?
Yeah. It's like if Birdman was like a less
Yeah, I was about to
less
say.
serious and less artistic movie. And it's about like an actor who's washed up, played by an actor who's washed up, talking about their career as an actor who's washed up. Like, I was very meta, and I was like, okay, yeah, I like that you're like totally dookying on yourself right there. I think that's really fun.
Speaking about Dookie, you ever seen 8 Crazy Nights starring Adam Sandler?
A long time ago, back when I was still in the 201.
All I remember about that is the deers.
I just remember like a lot of blue humor, which I'm not a fan of, which is why I don't think Adam Sandler. What about you, Dakota? Like, what's your guilty pleasure movie? Any that you might have?
Well, do you remember, what was it?
21st night, September. I could not help myself. I'm sorry.
Can we
It was
not?
It was
no,
like
Coach.
it was
Coach.
like nominated for like Best Picture, and like
Hey, baby
no
girl.
one I know liked it whatsoever. It was like a
The
extreme,
Blind Side.
No.
Them's just fighting words.
Man, I wish I could say the F word, but F The Blind Side, dude. That is such a bad. Koshi, get off.
You know what? You know what? Actually, I do think it's kind of really schmaltzy. You know what I don't like? Rudy.
Bad. What?
I don't like the movie Rudy.
Aaron Sorkin might have some words for you, but I'd never seen Rudy, so I can't talk about it.
Aaron, so what?
That is such a niche reference for anyone that watches The Newsroom, so like no one.
I saw the opening to the Newsroom.
But yeah, I've never. Oh, the opening scene that everyone's seen on YouTube.
Yeah, exactly. The opening
really makes
scene
you think it's the most honest moment in television of all time. No, that's stupid. I hate it. But
Back to like The Blind Side.
Wow,
But did
that just got
what,
real.
Wasn't there something about how like Michael Orr really hated The Blind Side because it like ruined his career or something?
I don't know. I mean, like,
Is that the
sounds
guy
like
who
a
it's based
garbage
off
movie.
of?
Yeah, that's the.
How did it ruin his career?
I kind of wish it ruined Sandra Bullock's career because it didn't.
I
She
guess
persisted.
I guess because now people like thought that he was like, or like thought of him higher, and so he wasn't able to perform to those standards. I guess I'm not sure.
Okay.
I don't remember what
It gave
exactly
him a level of
he
celebrity
said.
that his athleticism didn't deserve.
I mean, yeah, basically.
I mean, he's an NFL player, so obviously he has like a lot of level, but like within that realm, like relative to other like NFL players. That's a shame.
But no,
but, like, so what was it?
It was
Chocolat.
No, it was extremely loud and incredibly close.
You're right. No one I know has ever liked it. I don't know a single
Isn't that
person.
the one about like the
9/11.
Yeah,
Yeah.
the kid who's
Yeah.
like dad dies of 9/11.
Koshi, chill.
I thought that movie was like horrible, right? That's what I've heard.
I didn't finish it.
I mean, I know it's like pretty bad. Like a lot of it's just like this kid just running around to like different places and like going like, do you know stuff about my dad? Do you like stuff? That's basically the entire movie.
So it's Are You My Mother the movie?
It's Finding Nemo. Have you seen my dad?
Love that.
Okay.
But I just keep watching it for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe I don't know. Maybe it's just the fact that I don't know that whoever plays the kid, I feel like they did a pretty good job for the first time.
I think I know who was the kid that played the. I remember. It's gonna annoy me.
He was
Whatever.
He was like, I'm trying to remember.
Why are you laughing?
So,
Why are you laughing?
The
Dakota?
proximity of our faces right now.
The listener didn't need to know that, but okay.
I mean,
It's for the mic.
well, you asked why you're.
Surafel, where's your other hand?
Why I was laughing.
Why are you laughing, Dakota?
Surafel, where's your other hand right now? I'm like wondering.
Okay, you know what? Unnecessary. They can't see that you're joking.
No, I'm serious. Where?
What is
oh,
the name of that?
there it is.
On my stomach.
What is the? It's not Oscar. That was the name of the kid that played. That was the name of the character of the name of the kid.
What else is it? Oh, was it Asa Butterfield?
No.
Oh,
I'm trying.
Freddie Highmore.
No, could it be Freddie
all
Highmore?
I remember was that he was on like
The
Kids
Good
Jeopardy
Doctor?
one time, and that's how he got. That's how he got like.
Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Time travel Joseph Gordon-Levitt.
Yeah.
Anyways,
Also
Timothy Oliphant.
Also Joseph Gordon-Levitt that cut
there
his
something
hair
wrong with
because
the
he had
thing?
really long hair back then, didn't he? He was like a Hanson twin, triplet, whatever. But
I'm not familiar with
Okay.
any of the Hanson.
they just all their hair was like long and blonde.
okay, well, anyways.
Basically the entire.
Not
I say
to-
Central Intelligence, but I feel bad because I don't think that's really like a
Okay,
good
what would
example.
you consider like one?
Well, now that I'm put on the spot.
Yeah.
Hetty just mouthed to me Hitch. That's not a guilty pleasure movie. That's a genuinely good movie. Okay, lady, whatever. That's a fantastic movie. I
Lady.
thoroughly enjoyed that movie. I just recently discovered the entire thing of guilty pleasure movies. There are a lot of movies that you know what? I guess I have High School Musical. Yeah, I'll say it. High School Musical.
Okay, well, I feel like that's everybody's guilty pleasure movie, honestly.
No, but here's the thing. It's weird because like that stuff for me, it's not tied to nostalgia for me. Like for a lot of people, say, "Oh, I love this when I was a kid, and then I outgrew it, but I'm revisiting it." Like most 13-year-old boys or 12-year-old boys or whatever, I never liked it. Like I was like, "It's stupid, man. It's dumb."
Once you
then,
get your head in the game, then the movie really just comes together.
Exactly.
You just gotta get your head in the game.
Honestly, you can bet on that. But but like I remember, like I saw like the summer after I graduated high school, me and my family, we were in a hotel at the beach, and we were watching Netflix. All the little cousins, they wanted to watch something, but all the older cousins wanted to watch something else. We were like, okay, we'll like let the kids watch what they want to watch. We put on High School Musical because somehow that wasn't past their time. but like we watched it, and I remember just being like, why am I like actually enjoying this? Like I was like super into it, and then since then I've like High School Musical and High School Musical 2, not 3 because 3 is garbage. But the first two, I have both CDs in my car. That's not a joke. I have both High School Musical 1 and High School Musical 2. Have both CDs, both albums in my car. I have watched them both on Netflix like numerous times.
What about High School Musical 3?
Senior year? No, I ain't like that one. I ain't like High School Musical 3 senior year.
It's the return of the Jedi of the High School Musical saga, but still.
You know what? Like, I didn't want the boys to come back. I didn't want that, but
I've never actually seen it.
But back they came regardless. So I think that's my quintessential. For me, that's like my biggest guilty pleasure movie.
All right, so this is somewhat off topic, but one of my friends bought a CD because she thought it was the High School Musical soundtrack, even though The only thing that led her to believe this was a song on there called "We're All in This Together" that was on there. It was like an Old Crow Medicine Show CD. It was like
what? A what?
Old Crow Medicine Show, like bluegrass and stuff, like folk music.
Old Crow Medicine Show?
Have you heard the song
What is
"Wagon
that?
Wheel"? Like rock me, mama, like a wagon wheel.
That was by the Darius. What's his name? From Hootie and the.
He covered that.
That's
what he covered it
from.
Hootie and the Blowfish.
Yeah.
Yeah, you haven't heard of
That song was by the Blowfish. From Hootie and the Blowfish. Who was Hootie? It's an awful name.
It was by Fish.
Okay. Was it really by Fish? No, it wasn't. You're just messing with me.
No, I'm messing with
Okay, yeah. But yeah, getting back
Hey,
to
you know what? I actually have a question for you guys.
Yeah.
Is Forrest Gump like considered an actual good movie, or like, because I've always like
Forrest Gump to me is like the like quintessential Hollywood movie where it's like it's
okay.
It feels like not old Hollywood, but like old Hollywood for us.
Well, I
You know
feel
what mean?
guilty for liking it, so I guess in a sense it is. A
Really,
guilty
it's
pleasure.
no.
I
Everyone,
really love it.
It's like
It's really schmaltzy, but
it's schmaltzy. It's kind of I don't think was it directed by
no,
Spielberg?
it was not. It was
wasn't?
wasn't it? Wasn't the guy who made Back to the Future?
I don't know, but it has like a Spielberg quality where it's just like it feels like this is like classic or not classic like 40s, but like it feels like good, like everyone, the whole family could watch it, like a very wholesome kind of all American feel to it, which a lot of people think now is like, oh, that's so schmaltzy, that's so saccharine, that's so whatever.
But I feel like it really works.
But like, yeah, I thoroughly. It's like La La Land kind of, where it's a feel good movie. It's like it really has a lot of great production value and it's really well made and the performances are really good. But it's not really challenging anything. But that doesn't mean it's not great. It's a genuinely like that's not a guilty pleasure movie. That's
Okay,
a
so then
genuinely
yeah,
great
that's not a
movie.
guilty pleasure movie. So let me
No.
tell you one that is: Batman v Superman: Dawn of Justice.
Okay, here's the Batman v Superman. That's a fun movie to clown. I saw it for the first time over the summer, actually, in the same time that I saw Central Intelligence and all that.
Hetty
other
gave
stuff.
me a look like right now that's just like
It's not a great movie. It's not even like a good movie. It's like it's okay. It's not a great movie. It's fine. It's okay. I think that the hate. I think that the badness of it was overhyped for me. I think it was like people said it was so bad and it was not very good, but I thought it was okay. Like if you have an attachment to the character of what's Doomsday, I can see why you would be ticked off by the way that the character was treated.
I'm surprised that you knew his name.
He's one of DC's biggest characters. Why would I not know his name?
I don't know. Because he shows up for like friggin' 3 minutes and I don't think he's even
but I watched
named.
Justice League growing up.
Oh, well, then never mind.
Yeah.
Did they even name him in that show? I don't
Yeah,
even-
they-
I don't remember him even showing up in that show.
All right. Well, you didn't watch the show because he definitely showed up.
Okay, well,
Yeah. Mic drop that I didn't have to do because audio.
somebody's getting a smart ass. Anyway.
Getting.
Okay,
Getting.
we're already way past that point. That's a good
Yeah.
point.
On the point of God delusion. But yeah, it's. I can see why you call it a guilty pleasure movie because it was not very good.
I just like that last fight scene where it's like, because it kind of feels like they're just when he's smacking Superman around and he just like friggin' flies into a building. It's just like awesome. It's just like this is why I come to the theaters to see stuff explode.
I mean that's not invalid. Like I can see that you would Connor Claret, I think you and Nick should be friends. I think you and Nick Venezia should be friends. I'll hook you guys up if you're listening. Because he's a friend of mine who loved Pacific Rim. But
I
everyone,
love Pacific Rim.
Everyone did. He saw
Yeah,
15
that's
times
not
in
a
theaters.
guilty
He saw it
pleasure.
15
That's
times
a-
in theaters.
Oh.
15 times.
I feel like I could watch because I love kaiju movies. Like
Is it kaiju or gaiju?
kaiju.
Kaiju.
Giant monster movies. Like I love Godzilla. I love Rodan.
So I'm a fanboy, but I'm a fan for like
King
less for
Kong.
like genres and more for like specific artists or specific like.
That's the thing
properties.
about kaiju movies, though. They're all basically the same. Like
Yeah.
the humans don't do anything that interesting. It's really the monsters you come to see.
Yeah.
Like I saw Shin Godzilla.
and the third act battle.
I saw the new Godzilla movie, Shin Godzilla, like a few the third act battle, and it's all about just like 8 minutes of monsters basically, and like an hour of like humans doing stuff.
Yeah.
But that 8 minutes is the best, like the best like emotional high you can get in like a theater. 'Cause it's awesome. It's so awesome.
I'm just trying to think of like bad like action movies that like, because like most of my like, I was trying to think of like bad like action movies that are guilty pleasures, because like most of them are comedies. What?
Equilibrium.
I didn't see that.
Okay, well.
I don't think I have, because like action movies are for me like inherently like not super interesting. Like you kind of have to work for like, yeah, it has to be especially good, I feel like, for me for an action movie.
Yeah, I feel like you actually need to do something to have an action movie that's enjoyable.
Yeah. For me, because like comedies, I can just because I love comedy, so like, I can watch like a bad comedy, like Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates.
Yes. Yes.
That was a terrible movie. I thoroughly enjoyed it.
I know.
It was, so fun to watch that movie.
I just love like the part where like
Kumail Nanjiani has this ridiculous cameo that was like, you know what I'm talking about?
Wait,
the
what?
massage.
Oh yeah.
Kumail, he's weird because like I think he is such a prolific. He will do so many guest appearances in so many different things, like a lot. And now that he's like done his own movie, I'm hoping it's gonna be an end, because I'm like, dude, you do not need to be in there. You don't need to do this. At one point, he's literally like hanging from like a
like just
sex swing and rubbing his butt onto another woman's butt. And that was like a tantric massage. Like, I was like, what is this?
That wasn't even like my favorite. My favorite part of the movie, it was like one of like the dumber
Her reactions
jokes.
to the butt massage.
Like just like when Audrey Plaza, when they're like all coming clean about like how they screwed up, and Audrey Plaza's just like, one time I got so high that I just kept reading the back of like a shampoo bottle, and he's just like, oh, because it says rinse and repeat. That tickles me so much.
That entire movie for me was just so ridiculous. I think I heard a joke was oh my god, what was it? When they're like in the hotel room, and Adam Devine or whatever his name is, he comes in there and he's like, hey guys, what you doing? And they're like smoking weed and like watching like bad porn.
Oh yeah.
And it was in the trailer, but it's still such a funny joke. Anna Kendrick is like, how about The Rodfather? I don't think it'll make sense unless we've seen The Godfather. And something about that line really, I think because it was Anna Kendrick and she's not like,
I know, she like seems so like innocent in that movie.
But like, it just that line from her killed me. Everything about that movie, and I've been saying this since day one, like, Zac Efron is more than High School Musical. I love High School Musical.
Yeah.
But he's done great stuff since then. And like, this movie is like him and Adam Levine work off each other. That moment where the dad is like, you guys, you get each other worked up. We don't get each other worked up. What do we do? And they're like actually get each other like worked up, talking about how they don't do that to each other. It's such a stupid movie. But
I love when the guy like goes into like, when they're trying to get dates, and like the guy goes up to him and he's like, I could be your date.
When Mike and Dave are trying to get wedding dates. Yeah, that part.
Oh, he dropped the name. I love it when they say the name of the movie in the movie.
Yeah. But that's just there were a lot of like bad movies on HBO that summer. Like a lot. I mean, CIA, the Central Intelligence, HBO. You know something else that
HBO was just a bad movie in itself.
HBO?
Yes.
Oh, I meant to say Mike and Dave Need Wedding Dates. I don't know how HBO came out of that.
That's a lot of missing syllables. How'd you even manage that?
Entire letters, yeah.
Just
like
three.
Letters are bigger than syllables. What?
Who can win, an entire movie title or 3 letters?
I'd watch that fight. I don't know what that means, but I'd watch that fight. You know what else is? Actually, I'm not even sure if I'd call this like a guilty fight. I will. It wasn't a good movie.
Say it.
Serendipity.
Never heard of it.
Okay, so it's like an old movie. It's like early 2000s. Or whoops, sorry, hit the mic.
That's old.
Yeah, I said like it's Casablanca. It's old. But it's like early 2000s, late 90s. It's what's that guy from Hot Tub Time Machine? The main guy, John Cusack. John Cusack and Kate Beckinsale. Beginning of the movie, they like meet in a very serendipitous way, and they like fall in love like pretty immediately, and she is a person who believes in fate, and for whatever reason she's like, no, we shouldn't do this. So she writes her name and number down on a $10 bill, and then he writes his name and number down like in the inside of his book, and then he gives the book away to someone, and then she spends the $10 bill on something. And if we and she was like, you know,
if it'll come back around.
Yeah, and then it's meant to be. So then, 3 years later, they're both engaged to different people, and then they keep crisscrossing around New York. He's like trying to find her, and she's trying to find him inadvertently, and it becomes an entire like wild goose chase for love on both their parts, and it's such a stupid and saccharine.
Do they end up both getting the object?
Yeah.
Spoil it.
They do. And it's
I
so
love
sweet. It's like, it's a dumb movie, but it's just it's like
it sounds
kind of
like adorable and like a.
It's really adorable. It's
like
a
a
comfort
dumb way.
food movie, and it's just really fun. I watched it over Christmas break, and I was at the perfect. I wasn't drunk, but I was at the perfect level of drink, which is like 1.5 beers. That's like the perfect level of like drinks to have like when watching that movie. It's just like I'm not sloppy, but I'm elevated, and I'm just like watching it. I'm enjoying it, and it's great. And it was just such a fun movie, and it's just I like it a lot. I really enjoy that movie. Hitch.
Okay.
I don't care what you say, Hetty. That's a genuinely good movie. It's a really funny movie. It's great. It's corny, sure. It's cheesy, sure, but it's not bad. I like it a lot. So whatever. You make your faces. I don't care.
Okay.
Yeah.
So.
Do you have any other guilty pleasures?
I mean, I have one, but I'm. It's not because it's like. I'm pretty sure a lot of people fairly like this movie, but whenever people ask what's your favorite movie, and then I say Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs, I always get
That's
a
a
weird look.
great
That's a
movie.
great movie.
That's a fantastic movie.
I know,
Love
but
Cloudy with a Chance
I've
of
watched it
Meatballs.
like 20 times. Like
Oh,
I'm so
Okay, well, I feel like that might be excessive, but still. I've
Honestly,
seen it like
I
3
feel you.
times.
There are movies that people are like, that was a good movie, but like the extent to which I love it is like weird.
yeah.
I've mentioned it, I think on this podcast before on the previous episodes, but I've seen The Big Short, the movie about 2008 financial bubble.
I would not see that more than once.
Yeah,
I like it, but
I don't know. I think it's because of the subject matter, not so much the characters. I was just obsessed with like learning about.
I mean, the whole movie is basically doesn't focus on the characters really.
It's
at
a
all.
narrative documentary.
It focuses like almost entirely on the subject matter.
Yeah, and I just found it so interesting. Like I've read the book, or I'm reading the book like every like 2 pages like every like month. But I exaggerate. But like it was just so interesting to me. But like people are like, oh wow, like that's that movie about the housing market from like 2 years ago. Like that's what you're watching right now again for the 20th time. So like I feel and like that at least that makes sense because it's not like.
Why would people be like talking like that about it? Like it's an enriching experience. Like you learn like something that
But it's like who watches like documentaries like 20 times and like I watched that movie over the summer. I watched it like 6 times over the summer. Over like 2 months. It's weird.
Okay, that is kind of excessive.
But Cloudy with a Chance of Meatballs makes more sense because that's like an emotional thing and it's like animation. It feels like something you could watch more, not like Margot Robbie and bad example. But what I meant to say is like just celebrities talking to you about like the financial crisis.
Let's not completely count out all the merits of that.
Okay, I'm not gonna get weird on this, but okay.
The thing is
No.
I was messing with you.
Okay, so the thing with like Cloudy with the Chance of Meatballs though is like there's so many like visual gags that like there's like one point where like there's like a bunch of children that go like
Get back in there, tear.
that like there's like 8 kids that are eating like this ice cream snowman, but only 7 come out. So you think, holy crap, they ate a child. Like it's so crazy. And like
what?
I do
there's,
remember
like,
it being
8
like
kids that go
surprisingly
in and
violent
like basically
for,
like
like, a kid's movie.
eat this like ice cream snowman and only 7 run out. So it's like how they literally ate.
I mean the whole.
Hey guys,
So bad.
battery low.
Okay.
Okay.
So I have one more guilty pleasure movie. Wait, do we have time for it? Okay, so Texas Chainsaw 3D. This terrible movie that they put a surprising amount of work into to make it like a faithful sequel to the original Texas Chainsaw Massacre movie. They got like just a bunch of detail. They tried to get back to like the old town where they did it before. They tried to like get a lot of the same props and stuff. And anyways, point is, it's a terrible movie.
Yeah.
But they try to make Leatherface, that's the main bad guy, the guy with the titular chainsaw. They try to make him.
I thought you were gonna say Leatherface.
Wait,
the
what?
Guy, I thought you were gonna say Leatherface, the guy with the titular leather face. And I was about to say, Nick, that's not what titular means.
The eponymous Leatherface. Anyway, just like. Anyways, and they make him into an anti-hero, believe it or not.
Really?
Yeah, basically the bad guys are like the sheriff of the town who killed his like psychopathic murderer family. So they're not really villains, but they like try to, for some reason, like they try to kill like the main girl in this movie.
So there's no heroes, just varying levels of bad.
No, but the thing is, the twist is, the main girl is actually his niece.
Were you flexing when you said that?
No, I was gesticulating. Gesturing.
That sounds like a bodily function.
I knew you was going to say that.
Sounds like an exercise.
No, but... Anyway, please don't. Anyways, there's a few redeeming qualities of this movie. The main one is nothing really, but the main one is that the lead is Alexandra Daddario, who's actually not terrible. So
From Percy Jackson?
yes, from
Okay.
Percy Jackson and the Baywatch movie.
And the Baywatch, yeah. She's actually in this new movie with Adam Devine. It's a Netflix original about like a best friend, two best friends. One of them.
I feel like she could actually do something if she like an actual movie. If she,
I mean, she
like-
was in True Detective season 1.
oh well, then never mind. She did do something like.
Yeah, I
Good.
didn't finish all True Detective. I didn't finish all that season though, so I have no idea like what she did. I just know that there's like one scene where she's like sitting topless on Matthew McConaughey's lap, and that's like
Okay.
I saw like the first 2 episodes, so I don't really remember much of it, but I remember that moment. What there was oh gosh, this is gonna bug me. Alexandra Daddario. You know who I think she looks like? She looks like what's her name? Kelly Kapowski's daughter.
Don't know who you're talking about.
How young are you?
I am very young.
She was from Saved by the Bell, but I guess no one knows who that is or what that is.
What the hell is Saved by the Bell?
Are you? You know Saved by the Bell?
No, I know it's Saved by the... I'm just screwing with you.
How am I in a room full of white people? I'm the only one who's a Kelly Kapowski is. That doesn't make any sense. I feel weird, y'all.
There it is.
Did no one else watch TBS on Sunday mornings? Or during
Who the
summer?
hell watched Saved by the Bell? It's like a freaking like...
It was on TBS
like
in the summer
an 80s
vacations.
comedy or something.
90s, but okay.
90s, whatever.
Yeah. It was on TBS on Sundays and on summer vacation.
I was too busy watching other classic 90s programming like
Fresh Prince?
yes, and
The Cosby Show?
yes, no, well, not really that one. But what's his name? George I forget his name. Lopez, yes.
That wasn't 90s, that was 2000s.
Was that 2000s?
Yeah.
I think it's late. Yeah.
It was early to mid 2000s.
That show was horrible. I don't know why I watched so much of it. I wish I didn't.
Yeah, it was bad. That was not a good show. It was really bad.
I know.
But which isn't even like a guilt. Well,
that's a guilty pleasure show.
yeah, I guess.
Except I acknowledged that it was bad, and actually, you know what? I didn't like it that much. I just watched a lot of it. And so, not really a guilty pleasure. More just something that I hated, but like hate watched.
I have one last guilty pleasure movie. For anyone that knows me, knows that I really enjoy the movie Now You See Me.
Okay.
That was not a good movie, though.
I saw Now You See Me 2, and I actually really enjoyed it. But again,
Dan Harmon had this amazing roast of
I love him. He's just why isn't the sequel called Now You Don't?
It's a built-in title. Like, it's manufactured into the, like, why do you not? That's such a, and the first movie was so, like, the first 2 acts were really fun. Like, it was super fun to watch, and it was just really, really, like, fast-paced and witty, and the jokes were really on point, and, like, the visual effects were, like, it was a really, like, fun, just colorful movie, like, lots of really cool visual stuff going on. And then it comes to this twist that is just the premise alone, by the way. Like, in this fictional world where magicians are cool, like, first of all, it's like off the bat, like, let's deal with that weirdness. Like, magicians, like, aren't considered, like, weirdos that are, like, in basements or whatever. Like, they're cool, and, like, they're, like,
weirdos
in Vegas.
In basements.
Yeah, like, so, like...
Yeah, because that's where most magicians just perform, in their basement, right? They just invite people to their basement to watch shows.
Okay, a magician inviting you into his basement, is that really a hard scenario to imagine for you? Is it?
How many magicians...
Or does it feel kind of natural?
How many magicians?
I mean, into their house maybe, but their basement?
Surafel, I just have to ask, as a kid, how many magicians' basements were you in?
Let's move on, Nick. It's a dark joke to make. I don't know why I made that joke. But, well, you went gun there, I guess.
Yeah, exactly. I was about to say, I'm the one who took it.
It was weird because, like, these, like, really sexy people like Dave Franco and Isla Fisher.
All these sexy people.
And Jesse Eisenberg. Jesse Eisenberg is sexy.
Oh, yeah.
But, I love the Social Network, so whatever. But, yeah, it's just so stupid. But, like, it was still really good. And then the third act, and then there's this stupid twist that makes absolutely zero. Like, so, like, the entire time, the 4 main characters are doing this heist, and they're getting instructions from this secret organization called the Eye, right? And Mark Ruffalo plays this FBI agent who's essentially the Elmer Fudd of their Bugs Bunny, and is chasing them. It's not. It's really that cartoonish.
I know.
Like the entire time, like they're running around all of New York or whatever.
But Mark
and
Ruffalo actually ends up being
one magicians.
Yeah, he actually ends up being one of them.
Part of the Eye, and the entire. It's because this entire plot of the movie is like. He is trying to right the wrongs of the people who were inadvertently involved with the murder of his father. So, like, he became a magician, trained for years to become a magician, and then assumed an entire separate identity and profession as an FBI agent.
Yeah, he had to go through, like,
so that he could build a reputation as a great, taking on mob bosses and all that, just so that one day he could, like, do it. Just
yeah, he had to go into, like, criminal studies and, like, go to, like, you know, he had to, like, train to actually get a career
and all that.
And meanwhile, he was also on the side, or not on the side, actually. It was his main thing.
Yeah.
He was a magician. That is...
And he had to, like... It was just such a ridiculous, dumb thing. But, like, I still thoroughly enjoy it.
Yeah. Because of,
yeah.
like, all the, like, set-piece moments that they have.
Yeah, and the cool little tricks and all that.
Yeah,
but,
exactly.
You know, it's still fun.
It is fun. They're fun movies.
Yeah.
I feel like a lot of people can agree on that.
That's the nature of a guilty movie in general. They're not good, but, like, you like them because they're fun or they're stupid or whatever. Like, they're just good to watch. It's like The Office. The Office is good, but, like, there are so many great things on Netflix that I always want to watch, but I just end up watching The Office because it's simple, it's fun, it's convenient, it's there, it's routine, and it's just good for you.
Is it good for you, like, healthy?
It's good for you, like a mean.
Good for the soul.
So, I keep making these niche references that no one else is gonna get. Yeah. But whatever. So yeah, I think that kind of closes out our podcast.
Okay.
Yeah.
Wow.
This was fun.
So I mean, fun for you, but no.
I bring you into my home. You play with my dog. And you sit on my couch and you insult me on the day of my daughter's wedding.
I knew he was gonna say it. I was like thinking it myself. I was like, is he gonna make a Godfather reference? He better.
You mean better? A Rodfather reference. But yeah, so that's the podcast. My name is Surafel Casa.
I'm Dakota Snow.
And I'm Nick Venezia.
And we'll see you guys next episode. Bye.